Bihari Radhavinath Bihari Radhanayan Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai. Radha Damodar Dashyama Sundar Gokulananda Radharaman Ju ki jai. Krishna Balaram Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Prishta Om Vishnupada Astutra Satishmat Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Prishta Om Vishnupada Astutra Satishmat Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Prishta Vishnupada Astutra Satishmat Bhakti Jivan Janarana Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Prishta Vishnupada Astutra Satishmat Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Prishta Vishnupada Astutra Satishmat Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Prishta Om Vishnupada Astutra Satishmat Bhakti Kamal Govinda Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Prishta Om Vishnupada Stotra Satishmat Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai. Prishta Vishnupada Stotra Satishmat Bhakti Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Prishta Om Vishnupada Stotra Satishmat Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Prishta Vishnupada Stotra Satishmat Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Shila Gaur Kishore Das Bhuji Maharaj ki jai. Sachidananda Shila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Bhuji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Saurabh Damodara Raya-ramananda-samvad Shri Gaur Parishad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Madhuk Mandal ki jai. Vraj Mandal ki jai. Kshetra Mandal ki jai. Tribun Mangala Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Chara Sampradaya Chara 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 Dham ki jai. Raseshwari Kriyeshwari Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radha Thakurani ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hemabadivichi Visundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Nityananda Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayini Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janopataye Namaha Ajanalambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanai Kapitaro Kamalaya Takshu Vishwambaro Jujavaro Jagadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priya Karo Kurunavataram Kanakajaladagatro Nilashanabjanetro Mrigamadavaravalo Malati Kundamalo Taralatarunavesho Nilapitambaresho Smarani Britani Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandra Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvayavina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Naimam Charanantike Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. First of all, my limited Dandavat Pranams unto the lotus feet of Shila Gurudev Nitirila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Stotra Sata Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, my Shiksha Gurus, lotus feet of Shri Raya-ramananda Prabhu, his discussion with his dialogue with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Raya-ramananda-samvad. We're still discussing to dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam in London, also watching us online. So today's and tomorrow's classes are not for everyone, so very good. But no one came in that sense. It will be easier. Sometimes it's necessary to stay in a close circle. So don't understand that it's not it's good that they're not here. Some couldn't come, and we will use that also. So last time we were discussing the 5 rasas as Raya-ramananda was answering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's questions. Put it down. Questions. Okay. Answers. Question. Raya-ramananda's answers to Mahaprabhu's questions about sadhana and sadhya. So, specific features of the 5 rasas are being discussed. And Kanta rasa specifically, the Gopi Bhava, was discussed. So, Radhika is the highest of all the gopis, and after listening about Kanta Bhava in general, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to hear about Radha Prema specifically. So very exalted subjects were being discussed, and yesterday we touched just a little bit. So after Krishna was alone with Srimati Radhika in the Kunja in Shringarvat, and then he disappeared, and gopis were approaching them, and Krishna heard their steps. So he left them secretly. He left Srimati Radhika and left the gopis secretly, because at that time he didn't want them to understand that Radhika is the topmost, and his love to her is very, very special, incomparable. So therefore he left her, and them also, but secretly. But during Vasanta Rasa, during spring Rasa pastimes, Krishna did it openly. Radhika left the Rasa dance, and Krishna immediately left. Because without Srimati Radhika, Rasa dance cannot continue in such a way, in that way. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings 2 songs. Varajavipine and Shatakoti Gopi. So, I wanted Nalini to sing it, but nobody came, so. Varajavipine 106. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur meditating on that, describing Varajavipine Jamuna Kule Mancha Manohara Shobita Pule Vanaspati Lata Tashayaki Tadupari Katorakaye Paki. Okay. In the forests of Raj, along the banks of the Yamuna, there are enchanting platforms, beautifully decorated with flowers. Varieties of fruit trees and creepers give satisfaction to the eyes. On them many birds sing sweetly. A cooling breeze from the Malaya hills blows gently, and a swarm of bumblebees wanders about in search of honey. The full moon of the spring season continuously describes in soothing rays, distributes in its soothing rays out of love. At such a time, the supreme relisher of nectar and mellows, Muralidhar Sri Krishna, begins the rasa dance. In the midst of millions of lovely covered damsels, Sri Krishna blissfully dances with Radha. Singing beautiful songs, the enchantress of Madhav captivates the minds of all living beings. All moving and non-moving beings are enchanted by the chaste Radha, who has defeated the pride of Chandravali. After churning Vrajakishora's heart, Radharani disappears from the Vasanti Rasa. See? So this is described by Jayadev Goswami in Gita Govinda. Bhaktivinoda foresees trouble. Bhaktivinoda, who is he? Kamala Manjari. Therefore she foresees trouble. In another song, Shri Krishna Virahe, Srila Bhaktivinoda sings, I hate to see my mistress Srimati Radhika suffering in separation from Krishna. So they want always Radha and Krishna to meet. Nikunjayu nahorati kele siddhya yayali biryuktira pekshaniya tatrati daksha dati vallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. That is Sri Guru. Sri Guru makes all arrangements for Radha and Krishna to meet in his Manjari form, Swarupa. So rasa dance now stopped immediately after Radha left. So Krishna is leaving with Radha to search for Radha. So remember, he was sitting at Tala, at Imli tree, at tamarind tree, and crying in separation. And he took the complexion of Srimati Radhika, golden. Therefore, that was one of the reasons also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, because he's meditating on Radhika and her feelings of separation also. Shatakoti gopi madhavamana rakite narilo kirijatana Venugite dake radhika nama Venugite dake radhika nama Esho esho radhidaka yashyama Esho esho radhidaka yashyama Millions of lovely coward damsels are unable to keep Madhava's attention, despite their great endeavor to do so. The flute song calls the name of Radhika. Come here, Radhe. Petitions Shyam. Every gopi hears only her own name when Krishna plays his flute. When he goes and searches for Radha, the rasa dance comes to a halt, exclaiming, "O Radhe, please save my life by giving your darshan." Krishna weeps in the forest. That's so amazing. Rama was weeping for Sita. And remember Sati, Parvati, she couldn't believe, and she wanted to test Sita, to test Rama, if he is really Bhagavan. So she took the form of Sita. And Rama was saying, "Oh, mother, Sati, what are you doing here? Where's your husband, Lord Shiva?" So then she could understand it. That's really Bhagavan, but in this case Krishna is crying, you see. Isn't it amazing? Krishna is crying for Radha. See? Krishna is unhappy, he is not satisfied. Atmaram aptakam. How come? Atmaram aptakam Bhagavan in this condition. This is available only for those in Madhurya Bhava, especially those maidservants of Srimati Radhika, because he is crying for them. He is crying for her. He is crying for her. And in their hearts, that mood is reflecting. In each and every heart of each and every maidservant of Srimati Radhika, it's reflecting. So, Krishna is crying and exclaiming, "O Radha, please save my life by giving me your darshan." Krishna weeps in the forest, embracing Shri Radha and reconciling with her in a secluding grove. Shri Hari revives his life, he says, "Without you, what is the question of performing rasa? Only because of you do I live in Vraj." So, in Sevakunj picture, that is so. When Radha becomes Manini, she leaves. Krishna is trying to petition her, and she is not looking at him, but with the corner of her eye, she's still glancing at him, and she's slightly smiling, gently smiling. So weeping at the lotus feet of this Radhika, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, "Count me among your personal associates and keep me as your maidservant." Srimati Radha Thakurani ki jai. So then we heard how gopis were singing songs of separation with Krishna, Gopi Gita, and finally he arrived amongst them as Sakshat Manmata, Madan Mohan, the conqueror of the Cupid himself. Krishna started petitioning the gopis, pacifying them, and he also started to glorify the glorious love. And at the end he said, Na parayeham naravadya samyujam swasadu krityam vivudaya shapiva yamabhajan durjana geha shrinkhala samvrishya tattvan pratiyatu sadhuna. My darling gopis, your meeting with me is innocent and immaculate in every respect because it is devoid of even a single iota of desire for your own happiness. It is overflowing with supremely pure love. Although the bonds of affection for the members of one's own home are impossible to overcome, you have completely demolished them. Thus, for loving service to me, you have transgressed the moral laws of the world. Even if I lived as long as the gods, I would be unable to require even one drop of your love, sacrifice, and service. All of you may free me from debt simply by your own gentle nature, but I am forever the debtor of your prema and will always continue to be. So, Srila Gurudev commenting this, he's saying that that love for Krishna, which makes him a debtor, is the highest, and that is the love of the gopis. The gopis, remember, they have one feature, and that is the ability to serve Krishna with all of their bodies. All of their bodies. No consideration, no limitations. And that is the highest prema, which constitutes the highest selflessness. So they have no personal interest more than any other eternal associate, especially Srimati Radhika. So Gurudev was saying, Prema Madhurya of the gopis is the axle and Krishna is the wheel. Now we can see what Krishna is based upon, actually. He is the controller of all the worlds. He is Bhagavan Sarveshwareshwara Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. And he is based upon this axle of the prema of the gopis love. Just see how amazing this is. How amazing. If one removes the axle or the gopis from the wheel, Shri Krishna, then he becomes nirvishesha, featureless, impersonal. That's what Gurudev was saying. Krishna is nirvishesh Brahman without Shri Radha. Without Radha, Krishna is zero. Imagine the level of Harikatha. Oh my goodness, we were just going mad. Gurudev was saying those things. Gurudev was saying Radhika lifted Giriraj Govardhan. Radhika, not Krishna. Because that's his left pinky. Leftist part of the left hand. Leftist part. So certainly that's Radhika, because Krishna started playing the flute at Vamshivat, and Radhika came out of his left side of the body, left side of his body. Balaram from the right. Also Gopeshwar Mahadev from the right. But on the left, that's Radhika. So Krishna is saying, I am the ever debtor of your prema. So Gurudev is asking, when and why did Krishna become indebted to the gopis? The reply is that when Rasa Lila was going on, the other gopis developed pride in their own good fortune, and the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj Radha became sulky. To establish in this world the super excellence of Radhika's mode of separation, and also in order for Sri Krishna to directly taste and hear the nectar of Shri Radha and the other gopis' talks in separation from him, he disappeared from Rasa Lila. So superiority of Radhika's position is there in Vasanta Rasa Lila at the banks of Chandra Sarovara, near Giriraj Govardhan. Only eternally perfect gopis can take part in that Rasa Lila. Those gopis who will enter Rasa Lila as sadhakas will enter autumn Rasa Lila in Vrindavan and Sevakunj. Although Shri Krishna represents the ultimate limit of unparalleled beauty and sweetness, still in the association of Raja Gopis his beauty and sweetness increases ad infinitum, to the unlimited level. Although Shri Krishna's beauty and sweetness upon reaching the ultimate limit have no opportunity for increasing any further, whenever the gopis and Krishna see one another, his beauty and sweetness repeatedly increase. Impossible becomes possible. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, In the midst of the dancing gopis, Bhagavan Sri Krishna appears most beautiful, like an exquisite sapphire in the midst of golden ornaments. So many Rasika poets glorifying Rasa Lila, and Krishna is the sapphire and gopis are golden ornaments, golden necklace. So the color of the sapphire becomes greenish, therefore, because he's surrounded by gopis like golden vines around the black tamal tree. Prabhu kahe, oy satyavadi sunishchay, kripa kori kaha, yadi agi kichu hoy. Mahaprabhu replied, this conclusion that Kanta Prema is certainly the highest limit of perfection is incontrovertible. However, Shiraya, please speak more, if there is something else. Therefore, Ramananda Raya started glorifying Srimati Radhika and her Prema directly. Raya kai oragi puche hena jani, etadina nahi jani, achai bhuvan. Raya-ramananda replied, until this day I did not know anyone within the three worlds who could inquire beyond this. Here we go, here it starts. That's why our friends are resting today. It's a bit early for them to hear. But the world religions stop, this starts. Within the Kanta Prema of the gopis, Sri Radha's Prema for Krishna is the topmost essence of all perfection. And the glories of her love are described in all the revealed scriptures. The proper understanding of Kanta Prema is the Prema of the gopis of Raj for Sri Krishna. So, Raya-ramananda starts to describe Srimati Radhika's Prema. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopishu Saiveka Vishnu Ratyanta Vallabha. Padma Purana says, just as Radha is most dear to Sri Krishna, her lake Radhakunda is also exceedingly dear to him. Amongst all the gopis, Radha and Krishna Chandra is most dearly beloved. So once Radhika met Vrinda, and she asked, oh Vrinda, where were you coming from? I was coming from your Kunda, Radhakunda. Oh, and what did you see there? Oh, I saw there Krishna. You saw there Krishna? Yes, and what was he doing? He was learning the art of dancing. Learning the art of dancing from whom? From you, O Radhe. He was learning from you. How? I don't remember myself being there. Oh, he was looking at every kripa, at every leaf, at every branch, and he was seeing you there, and he was learning from you through those kripas and leaves. So that is why we call Vrinda Devi Satyavati. Satyavati Namo Namaha. She was saying this truth about Krishna. He is Radhika's disciple. He sits at Radhakunda and chants Radha mantra every day. So, when, remember, the gopis saw Krishna's footprints, the gopis of Vipaksha group, of the contrary group, they spoke these words, Anayaradita nunam bhagavan haririshvara yanavihaya govinda pritoyam anayadraha. O Sakis, the gopi, whom Krishna has taken away in a secluded place, leaving aside all of us, must have definitely worshipped the Supreme Controller Hari very grandly. Oh, they were appreciating, but also they were in a contrary mood. So that's why the gopis of Srimati Radhika's group, Swapaksha, when they saw and they recognized their Swamini's footsteps, they didn't say anything. They were just silent, because they knew the gopis of other groups were present, so they were not saying anything. And these words were spoken by Vipaksha. Prabhukahe agyakaha shunite paisuke apurvam ritanadivahi tomaramuke. Upon hearing the previous verse, Mahaprabhu's voice choked up and he said, speak more, Raya! Hearing this gives me tremendous joy. An unprecedented, unparalleled and astounding river of nectar is flowing from your mouth. Raya, By the verse Anairadita Nonam, you have implied that Krishna secretly took Sri Radha to a solitary place out of fear of the other gopis. Consequently, one might think that she is just like the other gopis, since it may be understood that he did not steal Sri Radha away directly before them, as he loves them as well. If he had stolen away her directly in front of the others, they would have become angry. Seeing that Sri Krishna is dependent on the other gopis, the intensity of Srimati Radhika's prema is not established as superior to others. If Krishna had rejected all the other gopis by taking Radha away directly before them, then one could understand that Sri Krishna's passion for Sri Radha was deeper. So, now listen what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained in this regard. So, Krishna's profound exclusive love for Radhika could not manifest in front of the other gopis. Fearing them, Krishna secretly stole Radha away from the other group, the gopis, during the Rasalila. So secretly this time in autumn Rasalila, but during spring Rasalila openly. He stole Radhika left, and he left them openly and went to search for her. So only in this way was the complete and ultimate mellow actually reached. So two very important considerations are here, and our acharyas are saying 2 points, marking out 2 points in this regard. First one, when both Aradhika, the worshipper, or Radha, and Aradhya, the worshipped of Krishna, disappeared from the arena of Rasalila, the gopis of Radhika's group could not at first understand that their mistress and Shri Krishna had disappeared together. Therefore, at the same time that the other gopis began to search for Krishna, the gopis of Radhika's group also began looking for their mistress. They were not sure whether she had departed with Shyamasundar or had left separately, so they couldn't understand whether she was alone, he was alone or not. The second one, once they began to their search, the Swapaksha gopis, the gopis of Radhika's group, then observed a set of footprints and immediately understood that's Radha's. So, because they had received the good fortune of serving her lotus feet, thus put all of their doubts to rest. This put all the doubts to rest, and thus Radha was perfectly established as the most beloved of all the Krishna's dear gopis. So they were having doubts whether Radha is with Krishna, and when they saw that she is really with him and that he had chosen her as the best, then the doubts were dispelled. So now Mahaprabhu wanted to hear the further explanation of super excellent position of Radha, so he is listening. Mahaprabhu is listening. So Raya-ramananda is speaking about Radhika Prema. Gopiganer rasanritya mandali chariya Radha chahivane phire valapakariya. Shri Krishna left the other gopis in the dancing arena. Lamenting over Radha's disappearance, he began wandering through the forest in search of her. With great expertise, Raya-ramananda refuted Sriman Mahaprabhu's objection, saying, O Lord, in Sharadya Rasa, Shri Krishna secretly took Radha away of the other gopis, and in order to associate with her alone. But in Gita Govinda it says, Kamsari rapi samsara vasana bandha shrinkalam radham adhaya hridaye tatyaja vraja sundari. His heart, bound by the chain of Radha's love, Kamsari, Shri Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, firmly clasped her to his chest, and taking her away from the sight of the Rasalila, which is the complete essence of all his desires, he left aside all the other beautiful Vraja maidens. So that's the first verse. From the two, when they were quoted, then Mahaprabhu was immersed in extreme bliss. And here's the second verse, which is more pertaining to the spring rasa dance, where the preeminence of Radhika's divine love is stressed so much. Itas tatastum anusritya radhikam anangabana vraja kina manasam kritanutapa sakalinda nandini tadanta kunje vishasada madava. Struck by Cupid's arrows, Madhava ran here and there along the banks of the Yamuna, searching for Shri Radha. See Krishna running here and there, panicking, becoming despondent at not finding her. He wept in a kunja. Krishna is weeping. So Srila Gurudev is saying that the only medicine for Krishna is Radhika's darshan. Do any of the other gopis possess this kind of power? It is only Radha who completely fulfills every object of Krishna's desires. So Madana Mohan Krishna still cannot cope with his desires, so Kamadev, transcendental Kamadev, still is leading him. Krishna was afflicted by the fire of Cupid. That is it. So you see, this is so exalted. Srila Gurudev gave us Gita Govinda in English. That was his incomparable input into the Sampradaya. Such a high Shastra. It's minimum for sannyasis, those who like real sannyasis. There were two devotees working on Gita Govinda for Gurudev. One sannyasi, one brahmachari, both fell down. They were working on Gita Govinda. Maybe that was not immediate reason, but very, very high Shastra. So we have to approach very, very carefully. Afflicted by the fire of Cupid, Krishna searched for Shri Radha, but in vain. He became so deeply affected by separation that upon remembering her prema, he fell into an unfathomable ocean of self-reproach. He understood that he had indeed behaved with Shri Radha as he had with the other gopis, even though she deserved greater honor. Repeatedly falling down and getting up, all the while reproaching himself, he came to a kunja on the bank of the river of Yamuna, where he thought, Praneshwari, Shri Radha, the mistress of my life, must have come to this kunj. But when he did not find her there, he fell into the ocean of despair and began lamenting. Ei du shlokirarta vicharila jani, vicharita uteyana amrite rakhani. Mahaprabhu pondered the meaning of these two verses and understood that they were a reservoir of nectar. Repeatedly chewing them, he began to taste ambrosia, cup after cup. This is called Krishna consciousness. While practicing slowly, little by little, trying to practice the process which is called mantra Mai Upasana, or worshipping Krishna through mantra. That is the principle of bhajana rahasya. So you meditate upon one mantra, upon one shloka from the scriptures, very, very deeply absorbed in the meanings, and you remember the mantra while you're chanting the holy name. So gradually the confidential meanings of the mantra are disclosed to you by the grace of Sri Guru. And when you achieve perfection, then the process becomes Swarasiki Upasana. So you worship divine couple spontaneously. And Leela comes after Leela in the process of that worship spontaneously, with no impediment. So, repeatedly chewing them, he began to taste ambrosia cup after cup. Raya-ramananda continues, Shri Krishna performed the Rasa Leela with millions of gopis, and in the midst he stayed by Shri Radha's side with one of his forms. But seeing that Krishna's love for her was the same as his love for the other gopis, Radha exhibited a contrary leftish mood, because it is the nature of prema to be crooked. So that was also happening during autumn rasa dance. Radhika left, and Krishna was sitting at Imlitala, waiting for her and crying. So Ujjvala Nilamani, the Shastra of Srila Rupa Goswami, which is dedicated to Madhurya Rasa, solely to Madhurya Rasa, is saying that the movements of prema are naturally crooked like a snake. Therefore young lovers experience man, that is, they become sulky. Sometimes the cause with cause and sometimes without. Radha became jealous and with good reason. Thus she left the side of the Rasa Lila. So sometimes Radhika's man or jealous anger is hetu, sometimes ahetu. Sometimes with reason, sometimes without. Rasa Lila is the consideration of all Sri Krishna's yearnings, and thus certainly it is his most prominent desire. Sometimes Radhika's man is ahetu, without reason, and sometimes it's unbreakable, just unbreakable. Krishna cannot break. What's it? Durjai. Completely unbreakable. Krishna cannot break. Without Radhika present in the Rasa Lila, Krishna was not happy. Even the millions of gopis were not able to extinguish the calm of Sri Krishna. From this alone one can infer the greatness of Sri Radhika's qualities. Without her, Krishna's desire to taste Kanta Prem would not be met. After hearing the deep explanation of Prem Tattva from Raya-ramananda, Mahaprabhu became very satisfied, and with a choked voice he explained, Rai, I have come to see you to receive knowledge of all these tattvas. My coming to you has proven successful. So that was the end of one of the sets. But there were many nights they spent together. And Kaviraj Goswami is presenting just a small part. I have understood the tattva of both sadhya and the sadhana, goal and the means to achieve it, but please speak further, for my mind desires to hear more. It's endless, it's unlimited, and unstoppable. O Ramananda, what is the nature of Sri Radha and Sri Krishna? What is Rasa Tattva? So now Raya-ramananda begins to describe Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, and Prema Tattva, their mutual features in relationship. Then he describes the highest limit of Prema Tattva, which is called Prema Vilasa Vivarta. So we'll hear that tomorrow morning for those heroes who will come. But now we'll hear about Krishna Tattva and Radha Tattva gradually. So Mahaprabhu in great humility, Raya-ramananda in great humility said, I do not know anything about this subject. I utter only those instructions you speak through me. So he's comparing himself to a doll. I'm just a doll, dancing doll, marionette, and you're the puppet master. You are directly the supreme controller. Who can understand your drama? My tongue will vibrate those very same instructions you have inspired within my heart as a super soul. Whether I'm speaking correctly or incorrectly, I do not know. When you're Premi Bhakta, there is no consideration correctly, incorrectly. Everything is super correct. And Prema is never correct actually. It's always unexpected. Prema is always crooked, not correct. See? So this is called Vivarta, transformation. Or Vilasa, Prema Vilasa Vivarta, that's the highest manifestation. Hearing Raya-ramananda's humble words, Mahaprabhu said, I'm a Mayavadi sannyasi. That's what Mahaprabhu is keeping saying. How can I understand Bhakti Tattva? Yes, because in Mayavada there is only one Supreme Brahman. There is no Ishwar, Jiva and Maya. There is, but anyway, it's only one, no this triangle. So what is Bhakti? Bhakti is not existent according to Mayavad. I always remain entangled in Mayavad philosophy. We should understand that these words spoken by Sriman Mahaprabhu in full humility were actually meant to conceal his real identity. Staying with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my mind has been purified. Everything is the contrary. Mahaprabhu purified Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he made him a devotee. We're saying, I'm a Mayavadi, and Sarvabhauma made me a devotee. Quite the contrary. However, he said to me, oh, you don't know the topics of Krishna. Raya-ramananda, he said, I don't know topics of Krishna. Raya-ramananda knows. So Mahaprabhu again gives homage to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Prabhu, who sent him to Raya-ramananda. Can you just reduce this? Okay, sound good. Thank you. Haribol. So, yeah. O Ramananda Rai, hearing of your glories I have come to you, but understanding me to be a sannyasi, you began to praise me. Whether or not Kiba Vipra, that's where this verse sounds actually. Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shura Kiba Noi, Kenya Noi, it's Krishna Tattva Veta Sei Guru Hoy. So, whether one or not is a Brahmana, sannyasi or Shudra, if one knows Krishna Tattva, then one's a Guru. So we're discussing this verse at length before. And O Ramananda Rai, do not cheat me by thinking of me as sannyasi. Please fulfill my heart's desires by describing the tattva of both Krishna and Radha. Raya-ramananda continuing to describe what he's saying. I'm only a puppet, and you are the puppeteer pulling the strings. I will dance as you make me. My tongue is like a veena, and you are the musician playing the veena. Whatever your mind desires to hear, I speak. See what relationship. Immediately Raya-ramananda sees what Mahaprabhu wants to hear, and he is speaking. That is called understanding of Mano Bhishtam, or sacred desire of Sri Guru. Actually, Mahaprabhu is Guru of all. But here he puts Raya-ramananda in the position of Guru, and actually Vishaka is Guru for Krishna. He's an obedient disciple. But in the Gaura Lila, Gauranga is Guru for all. But anyway, he takes the position of disciple in this conversation. So now, imagine that the room is full of new people, and we will be discussing Krishna Tattva. All of a sudden, Tattva will prevail, Tattvic understanding of who is Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Raya-ramananda starts over. He starts from philosophical understanding of who is Krishna, then who is Radha, and then their relationship. But first of all, we have to understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was saying. Yes, and then Gurudev came and said we have to forget that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And first we have to digest the fact that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's very good. I had some training today, earlier. Asim Prabhu was recording for his YouTube channel, so he asked me to tell about what is Krishna also, who is Krishna, who is the Guru, I think, and who is Krishna. So we were discussing a little bit. So Raya-ramananda, in the light of that, Raya-ramananda is saying, Paramaishvara Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Sarva Avatari Sarva Karana Pradhan Ananta Vaikuntha Ara Ananta Avatar Ananta Brahmanda Ihan Osabara Adhar Sajchid Ananda Tanu Vrajendra Nandan Sarvashvarya Sarvashakti Sarvasara Purna. Shri Krishna is Supreme Controller and the Swayam Bhagavan, original Supreme Person. He is both the source of all other incarnations and the principal cause of all causes. Shri Krishna is the root of unlimited Vaikuntha planets, innumerable incarnations, you see here, and infinite universes. He is the actual form of eternity, knowledge and bliss, yet still he is the son of Nanda Baba, the king of Vraj. He is the eternal son of Nanda Maharaj, even though factually he is unborn, being the primeval beginning and of everything. Not only does Nanda Baba feel I am the Krishna's father, but Krishna also maintains the eternal self-conception, I am Nanda and Yashoda's son. So Krishna is the possessor of all unlimited Shaktis, and one of them, remember, Agatana Patiyasi, the ability of fulfilling, making impossible possible. So for Krishna, there is nothing impossible. Simultaneously, he is the support of all the worlds, and as well he is son of Nanda, son of Yashoda. So that's Krishna's unique position. Ishvara Parama 3-4. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So nobody's singing. This same Krishna, who is the very embodiment of eternity, knowledge and bliss, is truly the supreme controller of all the other controllers. He is the original two-handed form of Krishna Swayam Rupa. furthermore, he is without beginning and he is the source of everything else. He is Govinda, the absolute cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karana. You see? So, on the one hand, he is Anadir, he is beginningless. On the other hand, he is Adir, the beginning of everything. So, beginningless and also beginning of everything, and Supreme Personality. So, Gurudev also quotes, Eticham Shakala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indradi Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. In the first canto of Bhagavatam, Krishna has listed all those incarnations. Shukadev Goswami listed the incarnations of Krishna. He listed Lila avatars. Can you open a little bit? Lila avatars. And then he said, Atyacham Shakalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So all these incarnations are parts and particles of the Supreme Whole, and that is Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So he is not avatara, he is avatari. You can ask, why is he included in the 10 avatars? The answer, because he also comes in this into this world. That's why. But actually, he is not one of the avatars. He is avatari. Huge commentary by Srila Gurudev. So, in Vrindavan, Krishna is the ever-fresh transcendental Cupid. He is worshipped by the Kama Gayatri and the Kama Bija. The seed, sound, vibration cling. He attracts the hearts of all living entities, male and female, moving and non-moving alike, and he is directly the very attractor of Cupid himself. Rasika Shekhar, Nanda Nandan, Shri Krishna is present in Vrindavan and as Madan Mahan, the very enchanter of Cupid. So, he is so sweet, amazingly sweet. So, Gurudev is commenting about Kama Bija. So we chant Gayatri mantras and we have the syllable which is mentioned here, starting with Ka. So Ka is Krishna, and E is Shrimati Radhika, and La is the loving pastimes, and is the ecstatic aspect of their pastimes. Kama Bija. Ka, La, I, and Bindu. So, Brihad Gautamiya Tantra says, the letter Ka means Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person, whose body is composed of eternity, knowledge and bliss. The letter E designates the Supreme Power, means Radhika, the presiding goddess of Vrindavan, Vrindavaneshwari. The letter La indicates the bliss of Radha and Krishna, and the Nada Bindu suggests the madhurya that comes from the happiness of their kissing each other. That's it. So that is included in the Gayatri mantras, specifically Gopala mantra and Kama Gayatri. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was pondering on Kama Gayatri mantra, and he was not able to understand, because Kama Gayatri consists of 24.5 syllables, and he could not understand what syllable is the half. So he was meditating, he was praying, he was trying to find that in the Shastra, he could not. So finally he was so despondent, he wanted to drown himself in Radhakunda. And he was thinking, oh, tomorrow morning I'll do that. And he was sitting late at night and he fell asleep for a little while. And Srimati Radhika came to him in a dream and said, Vishwanath, don't do that. So there is one Shastra which is called Varnagama Bhasvata. Sanskrit grammar book. So it's said there that letter Ya precedes the letter V, and this is the half syllable. This is the half syllable. So then Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remained in this world. So we have so many problems, material problems, and sometimes people are so much affected by those problems they want to commit suicide, but the real reason for suicide, if there is here. You cannot understand the Kama Gayatri. So also Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is describing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Srila Sanatana Goswami as the explanation of Kama Gayatri in Sanatana Shiksha. So again, this verse is quoted when the gopis were waiting for Krishna and singing his glories in separation. When he came back, they sat him upon the saris soaked with the tears and smeared with the sand of Yamuna. So they gave Krishna that asana and he came and he sat. And again that verse is given the end of Gopi Gita. Tasam avirabhuj chauri smayamana mukhambuja pitambara dhara sragvi sakshan manmata manmata. When the Krishna again appeared before the beautiful ladies of Raj, he was wearing a yellow cloth. He was also wearing a garland made of blossoming forest flowers, and upon his lotus face was a sweet smile. Indeed, the beauty of such a form bewilders the mind of even Cupid, or agitates the minds of all beings. Sakshat manmata manmata. That was Krishna. Came to appease the gopis. So Krishna is the Akhila Rasamrita Murti. He is the ocean of rasa, and that is stated in the very beginning of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So he is the dear most beloved of Sri Radha, Radha Preyan. It's also said in the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But he also supports all types of gopis, and it's also mentioned in the first verse. Taraka and Chandravali are also mentioned. Shyamala, Bhadra, they are all supported by Krishna. And those devotees in that group, they worship their mistress, Sis, their groups. We never go to Gaurikunda, that's the place of Chandravali. Once Raghunath Das Goswami was at the bank of Radhakund, and he had one friend whose name was Das, somehow or other, just Das. So once Das brought him a cup of chach. Chach is sour milk. So which is, after paneer is made, I think that's what remains, the buttermilk. So he brought a cup of buttermilk, and Raghunath Das Goswami asked, that's what he was taking actually, was just buttermilk and some chickpeas maybe. So where is it from? Oh, this is from Sakyastali, and Sakyastali is a place of Chandravali. Immediately Raghunath Das Goswami became very angry. He took a stick and nearly beat up Das. So he, had his chance to run away, and he did successfully at that time. He wanted to beat him up. Why? Because from the opposite camp. How dare you bring something from the opposite camp? It's unacceptable. So, and sometimes when we're very angry or hungry, we can take anything. If we're hungry and angry, then we can take any prasad, not prasad, some food. Should not do. Mahaprabhu instructed that same Raghunath Das Goswami, Vishayira Anna, Maleman. When you take grains from the materialists, your mind becomes polluted. Malin mane nahi Krishna rasmaran. When your mind is polluted, you cannot remember Krishna. You remember football rather than Haribol. Of all various rasas, the amorous mellow, Sringara rasa, is the topmost. That rasa is the emperor of all transcendental mellows, and Krishna is the embodiment of the king of this mellow. So wonderful. This form of Shri Krishna is all attractive, even to himself. Why? Because when Krishna was in Dwarka, he saw his reflection in the column, and he became so attracted. And also in Vraj that happened also. He became so attracted. What is that beauty? Who is that beautiful young man? So, in Gita Govinda it says, O Saki, in this spring season Sri Hari has become amorous love incarnate, and intoxicated by this rasa, in enjoying loving pastimes. With the limbs of his body, which is softer, darker, and more beautiful than the blue lotus, he begins the festival of love. With ever-increasing ardor, he is satisfying the gopis' unbridled passion, far in excess of their expectations, and having taken on an aggressive mood, the beautiful Vraj maidens are fully and unrestrainedly embracing each and every limb of his body. This is the love of the gopis. They serve Krishna with all the parts of their body, all their bodies they give, and they embrace each and every part of Krishna's body. So, you see, in intimate circle we can discuss. So, I think that's arrangement by Bhagavan. He sent heavy rain today to London. So, those devotees who are performing sadhan bhajan can hear. So, Krishna is the subject of attraction of all the devotees of Bhagavan. Lakshmi, Narayan, so many. There's so many verses. Here, Raya-ramananda quotes the verse from the Lila of chastising Kaliya. The wives of Kaliya, remember that? Wives of the Kaliya, they said, Oh, Kasyana Bahosyana Deva Vidmahe Tavangrirena Sparshadikaraga Yadvanchaya Shrir Lalanacharat-tapo Vihaya Kaman Suchiram Dritavrata. The wives of the serpent Kaliya said, Oh Bhagavan, we cannot understand which sadhana Kaliya serpent had performed. So that Krishna put his lotus feet, not only put his lotus feet, but intensely danced on his heads with his lotus feet. So to attain dust of lotus feet is even rare to Lakshmi and so many other devotees. Eternally established, not just devotees practicing, but eternally established in their internal service to Krishna Seva. So the sweetness of Shyama Sundar is so unparalleled that it enchants his own mind. And again, from Lalita Madhava, he even wants to embrace himself. The quotation from Lalita Madhava, seeing his own sweetness reflected in a bejeweled pillar, Krishna said, How wonderful, how astonishing and indescribable is my profound beauty, which is the cause of great wonderment. I am enchanted by this beauty which is arousing the eager desire to embrace and enjoy myself, exactly like Srimati Radhika does. So Krishna is looking at himself and trying to understand how Radhika loves him so much, even in Vrindavan. And now Radha Tattva. So again, Srila Raya-ramananda is starting from Tattvic point of view. So, you know, Radhika is Swarupa Shakti. You know that Swarupa Shakti has two features, Murta and Amurta. As Amurta, she is just Shakti, and as Murta, or personified, she is Radha, the young maiden of Braj. Ramananda Rai said, I have thus briefly explained the fundamental truths of Krishna's original form. Now please hear as I give a brief description of Shri Radha. Shri Krishna has unlimited potencies, of which three are prominent. So, Chit Shakti, Maya Shakti, Jiva Shakti, you know that. Chit Shakti is spiritual energy, Jiva Shakti, living entities, us, and Maya Shakti, material energy. So, also different other names are given, you can see in Jayavadharma also. Antaranga, Bahiranga, Tatastha, accordingly. So, Antaranga means superior, Bahiranga means inferior, and Tatastha means
Marginal.
Marginal, yes. Tata means bank, the shore of the ocean. So that line which is dividing the, just reduce a little bit, just make it very small. The line which lies between the shore, the shore and the water. Thank you. And the water, that is the position of the jivas. And the super soul Parabrahman does not perform any material activities since he does not have material hands or feet. See, from rasa to tattva, so it becomes more understandable for us. He resides everywhere in the whole universe at the same time. There is mention of this Chit Shakti spiritual potency in the Upanishads. So many quotations. Okay. So again, the internal potency of Bhagavan can be divided into three. Pradhana, that is total manifestation of material modes of nature. Kshetragya, the knower of the body, or the living entity, the jiva. And Kshetrapati, the internal potency of Chit Shakti. There's another classification. So those terms, they go along. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta Kshetragyakya Tathapara Avidya Karma Samgyanya Tritiya Shaktir Ishyate. Vishnu Purana says Shri Vishnu has three energies: the eternal potency Parashakti, living entity Kshetragya, illusory energy Avidya Shakti. So the same. Krishna's transcendental form is composed of eternity, bliss and knowledge, Satchidanandamaya. Therefore his internal potency has different forms, and the forms are also three. So Shaktiman wise, from the point of view of Shaktiman, or possessor of the energy, that's a Satchidananda. And from the point of view of Shakti, that is Sandini, Samvit and Hladini. Sandini means Sat, right? Samvit means Chit, and Hladini means Ananda. Ananda means Hladini. So Vishnu Purana confirms that. The potency that gives Bhagavan Krishna transcendental pleasure is called Hladini. For this pleasure potency, Krishna personally tastes all spiritual pleasure, even though he is the very embodiment of bliss. This potency also gives happiness to the devotees. Every one of the eternal symptoms of Swarup Shakti is present and full in Chit Shakti, minutely present in Jiva Shakti, and present in distorted manner in the external energy. You see? A very important principle here. So in full, it's present in Swarupa Shakti, Swarupa Shakti, yes. Partial in Jiva Shakti, and perverted, how to say, distorted, yes, form is in Maya Shakti. Yes. So there are three functions of Swarupa Shakti: Hladini, Samvit, Sandini. From very, very many angles, very wonderfully it's described here. Gurudev gives very solid commentary here. The most essential part of this pleasure potency of Hladini Shakti is called Prema. So you see, within Hladini Shakti, so many elements, but Prema is the highest. Although known as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, the mellow of transcendental bliss, also known. This mellow can only be tasted by Prema. The essence of Prema is called Mahabhava, which is personified Shri Radha Thakurani. Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Gunakani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. So that is from the 4th chapter, I think, of Adilila, where confidential reasons for Mahaprabhu's appearance are given. So who is Radha Thakurani? Kaviraj Goswami is saying Mahabhava Swarupa. She is the essence of Mahabhava. So Mahabhava has many gradations. And Radhika, what's that? Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Mohan, Madan. The highest is the Madan, Madanakya Mahabhava. That is Shrimati Radhika. Ruda, Aviruda, Madan. Madan is the highest level, and even Krishna has only Ruda, Adiruda, those levels, and Radha has higher in terms of prema. So you see, Krishna is Supreme Personality, but there's great but, great asterisk, From the point of view of Rasa Siddhanta, Radha has more, much more. So that's what Krishna wants to conceive as Mahaprabhu. Shri Radha's nature, Swarupa, is comprised of prema, and her body is also made of prema. She is the most excellent of all Shri Krishna's beloveds. This fundamental truth is known throughout the entire creation. And certainly the quotation of Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma, amazing, set of prayers. Only chapter 5 is meant for the earth right now, of Brahma Samhita. There are many chapters, I think 100 or so, those chapters. Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling South India, he revealed 2 shastras, 2 books. One of them is highest in terms of tattva, that is Brahma Samhita. And one is the highest in terms of rasa, that is Bilvamangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. So Mahaprabhu once heard Brahmanas vibrating this Brahma Samhita, and he took a copy of the in the original, and he brought to Vrindavan. So he brought these 2 books to Vrindavan, Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karnamrita. So here's about Radhika also. So each verse of Brahma Samhita has one very subject very deeply described. One verse is about Lord Shiva, one verse about Devi Shakti, one verse about Radha. So this is the verse about Radha, 37. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita Bistabira Evani Jarupa Tayaka Labdi Goloka Evani Vasatya Kilatma Bhuta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govinda, who is all-pervading and who exists within the hearts of all, resides in his Goloka Dham along with Shri Radha, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, who is the embodiment of his pleasure potency and the counterpart of his own spiritual form. She is the epitome of transcendental rasa and is expert in 64 arts. They are also accompanied by the Sakis, or expansions of Radha's own transcendental body, and who are infused with blissful spiritual rasa. I worship the original personality, Sri Govinda. So what are the 64 qualities of Sri Radha? We can hear now, if you, I hope you will not be bored. We can hear all the 64 qualities of Radha, if you don't mind. Sometimes I want to purify myself by hearing all the list. So these are the 64 main features of Hladini Shakti. Nritya, she is dancing. Gita, singing. Vadya, playing on musical instruments. Natya, performing theatre. Alekya, painting. Visheshakachedya, painting the face and body with colored unguents and cosmetics. Tandula Kusuma Bali Vikara, preparing offerings from rice and flowers. Pushpastarana, making coverings of flowers for a bed. Dashana Vasananga Raga, applying preparations for cleansing the teeth and coloring the cloth and body. Number 10, Mani Bhumika Karma, making a groundwork of jewels. Shaya Rachana, preparing the pastime bed. Udaka Vadya, playing music on the water, or Udaka Ghata, splashing with water. 13, Chitra Yoga, painting. 14, Malya Grantha Vikalpa, designing varieties of garlands. Shekara Pira Yojana, setting a crown upon the head. Nepatya Yoga, dressing in the retiring room. See, Yota Guruji, she can do all this. Yes. Nepatya Yoga. What is different kinds of yoga? One of them, Nepatya Yoga, dressing in a retiring room. Nepatya Yoga. So, Kanapatra Bhanga, decorating the ears. Sugandha Yukti, applying scents. Bhushana Yojana, applying or setting ornaments. Andrajala, performing jugglery. Kauchamara Yoga, engaging in decorative art. Hasta Laghava, tricking others with sleight of hand. Chitra Shaka Pupa Bhakshya Vikara Kriya. Preparing varieties of salad, bread, cake and delicious edibles. That's what we also do, but we do in Radhika's kitchen. We're meditating, helping her in that. Yes, 24. Panaka rasa raga sava yojana. Preparing palatable drinks and tingling drinks with a red color. Shuchi vaya karma. Doing needlework and weaving. Sukta sutra krida. Playing with thread. Vina damaruka vadya. Playing on the lute and small X-shaped drum. X-shaped drum. Here we go. Prahelika, posing and solving riddles. Pratimala, reciting a verse as a trial of memory or skill. Durvachaka yoga, another type of yoga. Speaking in a way that is difficult to understand. Durvachaka means difficult to understand. Durvachaka yoga. Speaking in a way which is difficult to understand. Remember Brahmara Gita, the song of the bee, how Radhika was speaking. All types of jalpa, pratijalpa, prajalpa, this, that. Mad speech, difficult to understand. Only those Rasika Vaishnavas can. Pustaka Vachana, reciting books. Natika Khyayika Darshana, enacting short plays and anecdotes. Kavya Samasya Purana, resolving unfathomable statements, verses or poetry. Here we go. Radhika is known as Pandita. She is the greatest learned person. Pattika Vetra Bana Vikalpa, designing shields, canes and arrows. Imagine. Tarku Karma, spinning. Takshana, doing carpentry. Here we go. 37. Vastu Vidya, engineering. 38. Rupya Ratna Pariksha, testing silver and jewels. Dhatuvada, practicing metallurgy.
Wow.
Means working with metals as well. Practicing metallurgy. This is Radha, you see. Mani Raga Jnana, coloring jewels. Akara Jnana, practicing mineralogy. Vriksha Yurveda Yoga, practicing medical treatment by herbs. Mesha Kukkuta Shavaka Yuddha Vidhi, training rams, cocks and birds to fight. Okay. Shuka Sarika Pralapana, training male and female parrots to converse and also understanding their conversations. Utsadana, using perfumes to heal or cleanse a person. Kesha Marjana Kaushala, combing and decorating hair. Akshara Mushtika Kathana, talking with letters and fingers. Mlechita Kutarika Vikalpa, fabricating barbarous philosophies of foreign sophistry. Barbarous philosophies. Foreign sophistry. Desha Bhasha Jnana, knowing provincial dialects. Pushpa Shakatika Nimiti Jnana, preparing of toy carts using flowers. Yantra Matrika, knowing the art of designing yantras. Dharana Matrika, wearing and using yantras. Samvachya, conversing. Manasi Kavya Kriya, composing verses mentally. Kriya Vikalpa, designing a literary work or a medical remedy. Chalitaka Yoga, juggling words to defeat another. Abhidhana Kosha Chando Jnana, using lexicography and meters. Vastra Gopana, concealing clothes. Dyuta Vishesha, specific gambling. Akarsha Krida, playing with dice by using magnets. Balaka Kridanaka, using children's toys. Vainaiki Vidya, enforcing discipline. Yes, she is Yudheshwari. She is the leader of her group, so she has to enforce discipline. All of you Sakis, you have to guard the Kunja now. Don't let this black person enter. I hate to see anything black. You know, even Radha made them paint their eyebrows white and make the braids, you know, cover with something non-black. So this is discipline, you know. Vaijaki Vidya, gaining victory, and Vandalki Vidya, awakening one's master with music at dawn. Here you go. This is Radha, who is endowed with the 64 arts. All of these artistic abilities are eternally present in their personified forms in Goloka Dhamma.
What is the name of Radharani when she's the leader of the group?
Yudheshwari.
Yudheshwari. How do you spell it?
Y-U-T-H-E-Shwari. So, gopis are Yautiki and Ayotiki. Yautiki are belonging to groups and Ayotiki without groups. Amongst sadhana siddha also. Mahabhava is the essence of all perfection, is like a wish-fulfilling desire stone. Its only business is to fulfill all of Krishna's desires. Shri Radha is the topmost spiritual gem, and the other gopis such as Lalita is her direct expansion, Skaya Vyuha. Shri Krishna's affection for her is like a perfumed massage, which makes Radha's transcendental body brilliantly lustrous and fragrant. So, Shri Radha during the day takes 3 kinds of showers. The first shower she takes is the shower of the nectar of compassion, Karunyamrita. And she takes a second bath at midday in the nectar waves of fresh youth, Tarunyamrita. Later on, Radhika takes her third and last bath in the nectar ocean of bodily luster, Lavanyamrita, 3 times a day. She wears the garment of shyness in the form of a very fine dark blue silk sari. Srimati Radharani's affection for Krishna is her upper cloth, which is reddish in color. She then covers her breast with a bodice comprised of overwhelming affection, pranaya, and jealous anger, man, for Krishna. So everything in Srimati Radhika's dress is related to Krishna. Everything is permeated with Krishna. Srimati Radharani's personal beauty is the reddish vermilion saffron powder, known as kumkuma, placed upon her body. Her affection for the saki is a sandalwood pulp, and the sweetness of her gentle smile is camphor. These 3 combined, camphor, sandalwood pulp, and kumkuma, are smeared all over her body. So, Srimati Radhika is the reservoir of so many moods. And she is Mahabhava Chintamani Swarupa. She is the embodiment of Mahabhava, ecstatic love for Krishna. She is the embodiment of Sattvika Bhavas, the 8 transformations, bodily transformations. Sanchari Bhavas, 33 transitory emotions, which come and go as waves from the ocean of Sthayi Bhava. So the waves on the ocean of Sthayi Bhava, the constant ecstasy, are those transitory emotions. What's it? Sanchari, otherwise Vyabhichari also called. So many qualities. And all the gopis are Kaya Vyuha coming out of her body. So now, these 3 currents, 3 types of shower Srimati Radhika takes in the morning, midday and evening. Karunyamrita, the nectar of mercy, she takes that in the morning. So merciful is whom? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is standing in this regard, one who cannot tolerate the unhappiness of others. So Srimati Radhika takes her first bath in that Karunyamrita, the bath of mercy. She cannot tolerate unhappiness of others. So early morning, like she takes the first bath in the early morning. So that early morning indicates Radhika's age, tender age, known as Vayasara Sandhi, conjunction of two ages. And at this time all the restlessness of infancy or balya and childhood, pauganda, disappear. So she becomes Kishori. The first stage is balya, yes, that is like before 5. Then pauganda means like 6, 7, maybe 8. And Kishore, maybe 8, 9 and more. Because Radhika and the gopis, they are actually like 7, 8 years old. But they look like, at that age, they look like 15, 16. They're fully, like fresh youth. So, in the midday pastimes, Shyama Sundar comes to Radha Kunda and they meet. Otherwise at Surya Kunda there are meetings. And they engage in Jala Vihar or water pastimes together. They take an ecstatic bath in Radha Kunda. This bath is full of wondrous mutual loving sentiments. So therefore the midday bath is called Taruni Amrita, the ocean, the waves of youthful nectar. Those waves of youthful nectar cover Radha and Krishna both. And Radha's natural youthfulness becomes fully blazing. So Bhakti-rasa Sindhu says, just as one can perceive the luster of a pearl from any direction, similarly one can see the heartfelt devotional sentiments radiating from within the body of Shri Radha. So Radhika is beautiful, ever beautiful, but those waves are making her even more beautiful. That ecstatic shower makes her completely covered with ever variegated beauty. So when Radha goes for the night abhisar, evening meeting with Krishna, her budding youth is exceeding beauty manifests fully, and that is called Lavanyamrita because she is shining. She is so much shining, especially during evening pastimes. So Radha is the root cause and shelter of all mercy and all youthfulness and all beauty. That's why she is called Taruni. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. When we sing tonight this song during Arati, please meditate on this Radha. Why she is Taruni. It's one very wonderful name. And those devotees, female devotees who have this name are especially fortunate because they have a chance to meditate on this Radhika, who is Gokula Tarani. So, to cover her femininity, she wears dark blue sari, which is the actualized form of the amorous mellow, Sringara Rasa. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was so much liking to wear a blue chadar. So devotees could not understand, but that was the reason. Blue chadar, because that's the color of Srimati Radhika. Radhika's sari. She is so beautiful in her shyness, and she wraps her entire body with this blue cloth. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Nayanamani Manjari, so therefore also he was so much liking to cover him with sari. Over her sari she wears a veil, the color of the rising sun that represents her attraction for Krishna. That ever fresh, all-consuming attraction or raga which itself causes one to realize one's beloved in a noble manner every moment is called anuraga. So anuraga, when Srimati Radhika experienced that, everything is new. Every time she sees Krishna, she cannot recognize him, and she says, "Who is this youth? I've never seen him before." Ever new, ever fresh. Yes. She always is so much desiring to be constantly absorbed in this anuraga. So all of her parts, all the parts of her decorations are made of her bhavas and different emotions, ecstatic emotions. She is beautifully decorated with 16 decorative items, Shodasha Shringara. A bath, a shining bejeweled nose piece, blue cloth, an ornamented belt around her waist, a braid, swaying earrings, an ointment of camphor, musk, and sandalwood smeared on her body, flowers decorating her hair, a garland about her neck, a pastime lotus in her hand, tambula in her mouth, a spot of musk on her chin, kajal, black mascara on her eyes, tilak on her forehead, dolphins, makari, drawn in the musk on her pinkish cheeks, and her feet tinted with red dye. 12 more ornaments beautifully decorate Srimati Radhika's body. An effulgent jeweled crown, large golden earrings, a golden waist sash, a silver necklace, small golden ear studs and hairpin, rings on her fingers, a neck ornament, and bangles on her wrist. Upon her chest is a glittering chain, upon her arm amulets, and on her ankles and toes jeweled ankle bells and toe rings. The following transcendental qualities are always within Srimati Radhika's possession. She is wonderfully beautiful to behold. She is situated in the prime of fresh youth. She has restless eyes and casts sidelong glances. She is always adorned with a mild, sweet smile, and the soles of her feet are marked with enchanting lines indicating unlimited auspiciousness. Her body fragrance maddens Krishna. The singing of the fifth note equals the sweetness of a cuckoo, and she is expert in the science of singing with music. She speaks sweetly. She is expert in joking. She is humble, merciful, extremely clever, and expert in all activities. She is shy and follows proper etiquette. Thus she shows respectful behavior to the superiors. This respectful behavior is one of the 3 types: inborn, learned from others, and deemed proper by her own deliberation. She is patient, grave, expert in knowing appropriate rhythm and tune, and possesses all ecstatic symptoms such as hava and bhava. She demonstrates the highest forms of love, which is called mahabhava. Seeing her, the hearts of all the residents of Gokul flood with prema. Srimati Radha Thakurani ki.
Yeah.
Such a symphony. Govinda Lilamrita says, Ka Krishnasya pranaya janibhu Shrimati Radhikaika Kasya preyasya nupamaguna Radhaikatna chanya Jaimyam keshadrishi taralata Nishturatvam kuchesya Vancha putyai prabhavati hare Radhikaika nachanya. Who is the source of love for Krishna? The answer it is Srimati Radha only. Who is Krishna's most beloved? The answer is the Shri Radha, repository of all transcendental qualities, and no one else. Her hair is very curly, her eyes are always darting back and forth, and her breasts are firm. Thus Shri Radha alone is able to fulfill all of Krishna's desires. No one else. How can you understand? No one else. So many devotees, so many personal associates, so many gopis. No one like Radha. She is unprecedented. So another verse. After hearing these descriptions of Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva and Prema Tattva from Raya-ramananda-samvad Mahaprabhu replied, O Raya, I have come to understand the truth about Krishna, Shri Radha and Prema itself. Now I wish to hear the glories of their playful, loving exchanges. So this we'll hear tomorrow morning, my dear friends. Topmost part of Sri Raya-ramananda-samvad in intimate company. And also we hear the wonderful questions and answers they were discussing. Mahaprabhu was asking and Mahaprabhu was, Raya-ramananda was answering. So, most confidential part tomorrow morning for those who really want. Shri Raya-ramananda-samvad ki jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Raya-ramananda Prabhu ki jai, Shri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga ki jai, Paramaradhitam Gurupad Padma ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. I was very happy we had this today. Most confidential topics. And I'm quite ignorant, I don't know anything, but Gurudev was speaking for Thakuraji. It was completely
Which book were you reading?
unprecedented. This is Raya-ramananda-samvad Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Yeah. The book is called Ramananda.
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
But the commentary you were reading.
Madhya Lila, chapter 8. Mostly texts. Something from Gurudev, but mostly just texts.
Okay, you compile them or it's presented somewhere, that commentary?
Just behind you. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
But there's Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita.
There's Srila Gurudev's book, Raya-ramananda-samvad.
Exactly, yeah. Okay.
So you can see that.
It's okay, I just lost you.
Okay, so what do you want to add?
Can I have a question?
Mhm,
Just
mhm.
a little, even when I was thinking about gopis touching Krishna's body, and you said they were doing this in aggressive manner? Was it aggressive manner?
Don't remember that word, really.
I mean,
thing
no,
is-
I
The thing is that gopis cover all Krishna's body. All Krishna's body they cover. That's the feature of Madhurya Ras, that they serve with all the parts of their body and they cover Krishna's body completely, like golden lions cover tamal, the trunk of tamal tree. I don't remember this word really. So to answer this question, I can just say, preaching to myself, just do sadhan bhajan, it will be revealed. The words don't really matter. But I personally don't remember that word, if you talk about words. Okay.
Yeah, Maharaj, he was talking about that there's a Rasa Leela in 2 seasons.
Yeah, autumn and spring.
And is that where is that? Is that in Bhagavatam?
In Bhagavatam, there's a description of Sharadiya Rasa, autumn Rasa Lila. And the description of spring Rasa Lila, Basanta Rasa, is in Gita Govinda. Gita Govinda is described in, Basanta Rasa is described in Gita Govinda. So, therefore, Raya-ramananda is quoting from both. From Bhagavatam, 10th canto, Rasa Panchadhyaya, the 5 chapters in Rasa Lila, and he also quotes Gita Govinda.
And I wanted to ask as well, was this happening every night?
Yes, many nights. But each night was seeming like one day of Brahma and 1,000 yugas. That's why Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying Yugaitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravrishaitam. But actually, gopis were thinking that it was so quick as blinking of the eye. And Yugaitam Nimeshena, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying that the separation from you lasts for me like yugas and yugas and yugas. So the gopis were cursing the eyelids because they were always blinking. One time they were cursing the eyelids. They wanted to have Krishna's darshan constantly. So, although the Rasa Lila was lasting for yugas and yugas, for gopis it was like one moment.
And I was thinking, when you was reading the qualities, the 64 qualities of it?
Of Radha, yes.
Yeah. There's things like engineering, things like, where is this...
Metallurgy.
where has this, this is what Ramananda Roy said, yeah?
Yes.
So where did he? Is that in a scripture that he has also, studied in that, or is that?
Raya-ramananda is great Rasika Vaishnava. But in the scriptures it said, Govinda Lilamrita Shil Kaviraj Goswami. Gurudev was forbidding us to read. Yes. For example, each chapter of Bhajana Rahasya is ending with Govinda Lilamrita's verse about the pastimes Ashtakali of Radha and Krishna. But that's okay. But Gurudev was forbidding us to read Krishna, Govinda Lilamrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita Mahakavya, prematurely. But anyway, those pastimes are given there. Gita Govinda also. It's very, very high. But if one has greed, then we can read, behind closed doors what to do. But first read Srila Gurudev's books, Venu Gita, his sweet books, Venu Gita, Bhakti Rasayana, Gopi Gita, Raya-ramananda-samvad, Gita Govinda. So those very, very sweet books. Amazing what Gurudev gave us. Very, very rarely we discuss this. Oh my God, this is sounds sahajik. But this is for those devotees who are eager, who are practicing, who are greedy, who want to become greedy. If you want to become greedy, remember one of the evenings, I think the first one, we heard Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavita Matir Kriyatavi Labhyate Tadar Loyam Apimulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukritarna Labhyate, the formula of Raganuga Bhakti. So Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati, the price for obtaining it is only greed. But the source of the greed is Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. Remember, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati is consciousness permeated with the Krishna Bhakti Rasa like a sponge. Sponge is fully permeated, fully absorbs that water, right? So water is fully, how to say, inside permeated, that sponge. So when you deal with that consciousness, with devotee of that mood and that level, then your greed goes towards that. And the greed you receive from there again. For more greed you go to sadhusanga. And with greed you go to sadhusanga. And for more greed you come. And you receive greed. It's all about greed. So, O Vaishnav Thakur, please give me greed for bhakti and make me aloof from sense gratification. And for that we are ready to pay any price. Let all humiliate us. Let all throw us away. Let all say we are nonsense. That's no harm. The gopis were experiencing that. The husbands were chastising them. The mothers-in-law, fathers-in-law were cursing them. Remember how Gurudev told about that gopi whose heart was stolen? Remember that? In Nectar of Govinda Lila, Srila Gurudev describes once Krishna was going, every morning, Krishna was going to the pasturing grounds with his Balaram and cow boyfriends, cows and calves. And the young gopis were looking. Some were peeping in from behind the curtains, behind the fences. And one gopi was so much eager to see Krishna, and she was begging her relatives, "Oh, please allow me to go. Please allow me to see Krishna. Now that black snake, he will cheat you. He will make you a madwoman. He will steal your heart, like the others. No, stay back home. Why? Others are going. Why cannot I go? No, stay back." And anyway, she was so much wanting, and she went, and Krishna noticed her then. And on the way back, Krishna saw the mood of her heart. She was standing just behind the entrance, main gate to the house. And Krishna made a trick with his covered stick. He twisted the tail of a calf, and he turned the calf that direction, towards that gopi, and he ran behind the calf, just to that gopi, and he looked directly into her eyes, and I think with his flute, anyway, he, this hand like this, he lifted her chin. So the gopi was lost, completely lost. Her mind was gone. She became pugly. She became totally mad. And her relatives said, "Oh, again, you see, that black snake has stolen your mind. You have now become completely mad. So, okay, we'll give you some housework. You see, the baby is crying. You hold the baby. Oh, see, there's no water in the house. You take this bucket and pick up some water from the well." So what she did, she was completely oblivious to what is going on around. So she put the baby into the bucket and started lowering the baby into the well. And, Pagli, kya kar rahe ho? What are you doing, you nonsense? Crazy. So we can be chastised, we can be experience so much trouble, yes. Kripa Sindhu Prabhu.
So if I understand properly and if I remember properly, in order to hear these topics, one needs a proper mood and one needs to hear from the proper source in order not to be affected by
Lusty desires.
yes. So therefore I wanted to understand what is that proper mood. I would like to focus on the mood and how to develop it, especially if we understand that to change the mood is so difficult. I think, I don't think I'm in a proper mood at all, and if you ask me to change it, I don't think that it's so easy. So yes, please.
It's not that you first change the mood and then you're here. If you keep simplicity in your heart and just here with open heart, open mind, then the mood will be changed. We are now just discussing what Srila Gurudev gave us. This is Gurudev's Harikatha, his book, which is widely distributed. We give this to new people also. Raya-ramananda-samvad, take. So that's what is inside. Raya-ramananda-samvad is very, very confidential. And we can discuss certainly superficially, we can discuss in general, but sometimes we can discuss amongst devotees in deep, like today. So I'm happy, we're all practicing devotees, no new people today. Also, anyway, we're speaking something, but in general. But also we can discuss deeply, or as deeply as we can. And the proper mood will come, just sit, listen, and it will come. It's not dependent, just forget that world. It's all here. Raya-ramananda-samvad. Therefore Gurudev was saying, come with me to the bank of Godavari, where transcendental dialogue is going on between Mahaprabhu and Raya-ramananda. Krishna is taking shelter of V Shaka, very special branch, V Shaka, of Srimati Radhika's tree. She is taking that shiksha, and we are hearing that. What can be more wonderful in the three worlds? So let us not be worried about the external world with all of its most important is here. In the Katha and in the books. Books are Harikatha recorded. So what we're doing now is Mananam, that understanding. We're trying to understand what Srila Gurudev gave. The proper mode is depending certainly on our endeavors and cultivation. So let's not become hopeless, always be hopeful. It will all come. Alright, thank you so much. Raya-ramananda-samvad ki jai. And tomorrow at 9 o'clock will be last program. Are you working tomorrow?
I will try to phone them and explain that I cannot come into work. I will only be able to come in the afternoon, but I don't think I will get the permission, so let's see what happens.
Let's see, pray. So
We can make you sick, I can make you
we can make Kripa Sindhu sick, that's true.
All the prasad feed.
Yes, so much.
I think he's already somewhat thoughtful, and he may become forgetful. And you can approach a doctor and say, "Doctor, I become forgetful. All of a sudden, something going on with me." Okay, here's a sick leave. Here's a sick leave.
I will make a call. Let's see.
Make a call.
We need a Hare Krishna doctor.
Make a call directly to hospital. Hare Krishna. Yadavarpa will come tomorrow, he promised, so it will be nice company for the last time. So tomorrow, Prema Vilasa Vivarta, and the questions and answers. Be ready. As Gurudev was saying, be ready. We'll be very, very happy to discuss that with you. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande. Raya-ramananda-samvad ki jai. Shila Gurudeva ki jai.